So the House of Brioni has been on a roll. I don't think I've picked up a single release from them yet that I haven't liked. And today we have another new release. So it seems like they're on a once-a-year program here, which has been working really well for them so far. And this was kind of out of nowhere. I just happened to see it, and then I Googled it, and then I saw that it was available on their website for purchase. So it's $145 for an Eau de Parfum concentration Brioni Eau de Parfum Suave. Pretty cool looking bottle. I mean, looking at the pictures, it's by far their best looking bottle yet, in my opinion. I like the name. I like that it is kind of indicative of a warmer and heavier version, which we haven't had yet. Most of the line is on the fresher side with violet leaf and things like that. Now the Eau de Parfum Intense using a bit of oud, which is an interesting combination with the other notes. The Essentiel uses this kind of green tomato leaf. It's a bit more aromatic. Eclat is going to be the freshest, obviously. So this already is looking like it's going to be more of a fall, winter, nighttime appropriate scent, which is perfect heading into fall and winter. So here's the bottle, and it looks great. Looked amazing in pictures. Looks just as good, if not better, in person. Nice details from the gradient being darker at top, go down to the bottom here. All of these have just the logo here, kind of a nice cool texture to it, which is a nice touch. You've got your Brioni logo on the top, and that's really it. Everything else is pretty standard for all of the other bottles. Magnetic caps on all of these as well, which is always a nice touch. So let's go ahead and get this one on, and we'll see what we've got. Getting a lot of cedar wood, very prominent spicy cedar wood immediately. It's like a cedar pink pepper combination. Along with that, a little bit of a kind of tonka sweetness, but definitely major focus on earthy woods is how I would describe it. So it's kind of warm and spicy and dry from the cedar wood, but then there is this earthy undertone as well, which gives it kind of a unique twist, you know. Something like a little bit different about this too that I can't quite pinpoint. Very dry in a sense, I guess is what I would say. Dry, woody, and earthy is primarily what I'm getting here. Definitely kind of the impression of a vetiver note. And so instead of being like a soapy, clean vetiver, it's a drier, earthier vetiver, kind of like a Terre d'Hermes style. So let's go ahead and take a look at the note breakdown. I do think it's kind of interesting here. Up top, we have pink pepper, cardamom, and orange. In the mid, we have leather and vetiver. In the base, we have amber and sandalwood. So lots of warm spices off the top. You really can't escape that. Woods are coming in pretty much immediately following that opening. Like I had mentioned, I get a cedar wood. They're not listing that off here. I'm sticking to that. I definitely pick up on that. Maybe a little bit of a creamy sandalwood, but more of an earthy, spicy woodiness. One thing that's interesting though is the vetiver orange combination. I can already tell that there might be some comparisons drawn to something like Terre d'Hermes, right? Just the original, that earthy kind of vetiver orange combination. The main difference that's going to set this and Terre d'Hermes apart is going to be that this one still has sweetness going on. You're picking up on the amber. The sandalwood is alluding to that as well. There is a little bit of a creaminess to this one. And so that's going to separate the two. But I could see where someone might say has a little bit of a Terre d'Hermes inspiration to it, just with that combination. Because generally you're less likely to see very earthy, woody, and dry fragrances. That's just something that isn't as common these days. Everything's going in the sweet, bubblegummy, syrupy direction. And so something like this could also be compared a bit to Bentley for Men Absolute / Gucci Pour Homme 1, just given the woods and the spices and the dryness that this one gives off. But again, I'm not saying that this is a clone of any of those because it still is very much going down its own path here. And now that's been sitting for a couple minutes, it's starting to smooth off a little bit. You know, when you first spray it on, it's pretty strong, pretty punchy, pretty spicy and rich. But now it's kind of starting to settle. It's starting to kind of smooth off and round off the edges a little bit. You're getting into more of a seductive smelling scent. Whereas in the beginning, when you first sprayed, it's a little bit more abrasive. So this is kind of where the name is starting to make more sense. If it stayed like it did in the opening all the way through, I don't know, that's a pretty aggressive smelling scent DNA, but it is starting to have a little bit more of kind of a smooth and gentlemanly, classy smell to it. And I will also say that Brioni is no stranger to classy fragrances. Pretty much from, again, their original all the way up to their newest release, All of them maintain some level of sophistication and some level of a premium smell, just going beyond the quality and, you know, the presentation and even the performance, taking all that aside and just focusing on how the scent makes you feel and the type of impression that it gives off. All of them do have that next level, kind of higher end, more classy smell to them, again, which is contradictory to a lot of new releases these days that are sweet, bubblegummy, or maybe just blue or just soapy clean, right? These are all kind of having an extra layer of depth to them. Not a whole lot has changed since then, right? Still just woody, kind of leathery, earthy, spicy. As it stands right now, this isn't one of my absolute favorites. I will say I was expecting to like this one a little bit more. I'm not saying that I dislike it, but I was expecting something different. I guess I was expecting something sweeter. I didn't really look at the note breakdown. I just bought it when I saw that it was available. And so I do like it, but it is different. I do think that this is going to be a great option for people who are just on the hunt for something different. And another thing that's very important to mention, this is a lot different than the others in the line. So it doesn't have that violet leaf freshness. You're not really getting any oud out of it. You're not getting a green aromatic tomato leaf accord. You're not getting a bunch of citrus, right? So one thing I will say is throughout the evolution of the line, all of them have been able to stand out and provide their own value to the line, right? And this is no exception. It's not redundant at all if you own any of the others or all of the others. If I had to say which one it was closest to, it would probably be the Eau de Parfum Intense, but still, it's not all that similar either. It doesn't have the oud, it doesn't have the same apple fruitiness going on. It's just different, but it does have a bit of that sweetness and just overwhelmingly woody, it's spicy, a bit dry. Now, this won't be for everybody, you know, this is not going to be something that everybody is going to really enjoy. I do think overall it's still going to be a relatively safe option if you know what you're looking for. So if you like earthy, kind of woody fragrances, then this might be something you would really enjoy. But if you don't, this probably isn't going to be something that's going to get you to like those necessarily. I do think it would be worth trying. I do think it's going to be something where when it hits discounters, it's going to be a solid pickup. You know, right now, 145 bucks, it's not insane, but it's also not cheap by any means. You know, that's a lot of money. But once you can get it for under 100, because that's typically where these fall, you know, and the Eau de Parfum keeps falling. I've seen it for as low as $40 to $45 for 100 milliliters. So as soon as this one gets down to even $70, $60, it's going to be a worthwhile pickup because it does bring amazing quality and just overall uniqueness for that price. No clue about performance yet. Simply an Eau de Parfum, like pretty much all of them have been. So we'll have to see on that one. And so, you know, it's easy to judge it based on a $145 price tag because that's what I paid. But if you judged it based on a inevitably $50, $60, $70 price tag, wow, I mean, that's impressive, right? If I could smell this and I paid $50 for it, I would be more than impressed. And it will get there at some point. So maybe it might be worth holding out and waiting till it gets there. But regardless of which way you go, it might be something worth trying out. I picked up a couple bottles of this because I'm going to offer samples of it on my website. You can click the first link down below. Pick up a sample if you want to try before you buy. We've got about 100 men's listings right now. We've got a few up for the ladies as well. We're constantly adding to the website every day, offering new samples and just giving you an easy way to try things because nothing is getting cheaper. I mean, that's one thing that is just, you can't argue with. Nothing is getting cheaper in this hobby or in general. So if you want to know what all the hype is about all these popular fragrances people keep talking about, you can try them in sample size. Free shipping over $49, free samples with every order. We have a super seamless, easy to navigate website. From adding to your cart to checking out, it's easy. We're not throwing in a bunch of crap. It's a super likable shopping experience. So do check us out. We appreciate your guys' support. We're constantly striving to be better. We're constantly striving to add more to the website because I understand in the grand scheme of things, there's not a lot on there yet, but almost every day we're putting new stuff in stock. So make sure you check us out. Let me know what you guys think of the new Brioni Eau de Parfum Suave down below in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.